I knew the body innately heals. It can't not.
A pocket of energy within myself.
This is for your mother. So just do this for her.
Let's figure out ways that we can actually use pleasure to come together and bring healing.
It's a modality where we go into your subconscious and change some of those limiting beliefs.
I'm Susan Marco, clinical hypnotist, and I have so many friends and people who have had big impact on my life, so I want to share them all with you. Hi everybody, Susan Marco here, and welcome to Trance Talks, where I have conversations with practitioners across many different modalities and disciplines. And oh boy, I am so excited to have this woman, Tracey Cecil, sitting sort of next to me. Okay, she's on the other side of the world from us, but Tracey is amazing. Okay, Tracey is a hypnotherapist, a coach, a counselor, a wise woman of Magick, a life celebrant. She reads tarot cards, among many other things. But how I connected with Tracey, and many of you who know me well probably say, well, isn't all that like part of it? For sure. But I reached out to her because she was referred to me as someone who could master me and teach me Reiki. And, that was something that dropped in for me that I wanted to add to what I was doing. And so, oh my gosh, we had such a good time in our training. And, to be able to do it online with you, Tracey, on the other side of the world, and for the magic of it to still be so powerful and so there for me, I am grateful to you for that. And, for your continued tutelage, really. So I could talk on and on, but it's not about me. I wanted you to tell, my listeners, our followers, like, how did you become a Reiki master? Like, what's your story? What's your Reiki story?
It's a long one. But before I tell my story, I just want to say a big, big thank you to you, Susan, for allowing me to get on here today and speak, because I don't like to speak. So we could go anywhere here. So this is the whole thing. Reiki for me has been a windy path, like most of our paths can be, especially in the spiritual community, where we can jump on and jump off and jump on and jump off, and we never know exactly where that's leading us. But Reiki has its own intelligence, as I always teach my students, and it will take you to where it needs to go. And for me, my path, of my Reiki path, started for me in a very dark time of my life. I suppose I was in a marriage that wasn't a great marriage. It was a violent marriage. And the funny thing is, here's the one that actually told me I had to go and have a Reiki done to fix me. And so I did. And the Reiki practitioner at the time said to me, you should be doing this, because while I'm Reikiing you, you're sending energy to me. And I went, okay. So I searched for a master, and one appeared, and as they do quite often, and I went off to this lady. And although I don't like the word woo-woo, because I feel like it puts it down it puts it down as not what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a little diminishing, right? Like,
yes, it's diminishing. So I don't like to use the word woo-woo, but this lady was full of woo-woo. And I got there and she said, oh, you don't have to do Reiki 1, you can just do Reiki 2, and you've got somebody working through you. And so she didn't do much at all. We did a meditation. She worked on my back a little bit. And then she said, do you want to come for a coffee? And then we had a coffee, and then she gave me these manuals and these symbols and said, there you go, you're attuned to Reiki. And I went, oh. Totally confused. Now, I was a massage therapist, okay, so I'd been healing anyway, and so that was okay. And then, so I thought, oh, and back then, like, this was, I was my my daughter's nearly 30, so she was 3, I think, when this was all going on. So that's a long time ago. I'll let you all work out the math because I can't. So anyway, so that's okay. So off I go. And so then back then you couldn't find information on the internet about Reiki. So you had to search in books, and it was really hard to find out what the symbols even meant and all the rest of it. So I did this big research, and I more or less taught myself how to do Reiki for a bit there. And so I was doing Reiki and I was massaging and I was doing all that. And then I opened my first, and then I studied other modalities as well. So counselling and tarot, the craft, Celtic craft. I did lots of different ways of working with energy as well. And then I opened my own little shop, which was a well-being type witchy shop, I suppose you would call it, with all magical supplies and stuff. And I thought, I need to be able to do Reiki workshops. So I went on another search for another master, and I found an amazing master. And then I started to train with him. And so I trained right from the beginning. I went right back to the beginning. And I find that energetically sometimes we have to go back to the beginning and reset and start again. And I find that we don't, when we start to believe that we know everything, that's when we know nothing. So it's a very egotistical way of being. So there's always learning that happens. And I guess in my courses with people too, I'm always learning. Every time I teach Reiki or attune people to Reiki, I learn something new. And our belief systems change energetically as we grow as well. And sometimes I'll look at my manual and go, oh, I don't know if I believe that part to be true anymore.
Right.
And so we change it and we fix it and we evolve it and we do all those things. But he was a brilliant teacher. And the thing with him and what I've done too is it's not just about the hands-on component of Reiki. So Mrs. I can never say her name, the lady that brought Reiki to the West.
Yes.
She
Takasha or something.
Mrs. Takasha, got it right. So the lady that brought Reiki to the West, she was healed by Reiki. Okay, so that was how she's seen Reiki. And to get it into the West when we'd been fighting the Japanese and all sorts of stuff, right, yeah, she had to tell a few lies and to get it in here. So in the West, it was very much just a hands-on healing component. But for the traditional teachings of Reiki, we're looking at it's a way of enlightenment. So it's about embodying the energy, learning about the energy, being part of the energy system, all of the rest of it through meditation, toning with the symbols, all of the rest of it. So I teach you more than just the hands-on healing component. So you learn about the energy around you. You learn about the symbols and the frequencies and all of the rest of it. And Reiki will go to where it's needed in your life. So after doing that, I then started to share. Well, I did Reiki 1 and 2 again, and I thought I was going to do Masters straight away. But no, I needed to practice and practice and practice for a while, a lot longer than I thought I would. And then I did my Masters. And then I started I still didn't teach for a long, long time because I still wanted to master the Masters. And then I started offering little workshops, just Reiki 1 and 2 to start with. It was a long while before I actually taught Masters. And then it was my first step into teaching, and I love teaching and sharing. So that was fine, but it took me in a way that, and it does with my students as well, it adds to their other modalities. It gives them that extra expansion to actually go in deeper to understand the energy around what they're doing. And I'll give you an example of that. For me, I use Reiki in my readings. I use Reiki in my hypnotherapy. I use Reiki in my coaching. I use Reiki in every day. I attune myself to Reiki. I step into that Reiki energy. I switch it on, like I talk about, like switching it on like a tap, and it runs through me every day. And that's where you get people saying to me, oh my gosh, I love your energy. You're not loving my energy. Because if you got my energy a lot of the time, you'd be going, oh my gosh, right. It's Reiki energy. It's universal life force energy that runs through me. And because it runs through me, it's a win-win for me, because it goes out to, I just let it go out to whoever needs it. So therefore I don't get drained. Yeah. So you come across those people that we call energy suckers, you know, those vampires that are out there, and you don't get drained because you've switched it on.
Right.
Okay. So if you take it into all your other modalities, into life, so it becomes a way of life. And it's funny, before I did masters, they used to say, you know, masters is not it's not like practitioners. It becomes a way of life. And I thought, I didn't understand what that meant. I thought it meant that we had to sit around contemplating our belly button, drink herbal tea, and be very, very good for the rest of my life. And I thought, oh dear, how am I going to do that? But that's not true. Okay. It's about switching on, understanding that universal life force energy runs through everything. Okay. It's the life force. It's our life force. And if we can connect to that instead of depleting ourselves, then that's what it is. Now, you'll have the skeptics. And what I love to tell the skeptics, and if there's any skeptics watching this right now and they go, you know, you can't see it, how do you know it works? I'm going to say this to you right now. You are sitting here watching me on your phone or your laptop or whatever you're watching me on. I am not physically with you, but you can see my picture and you can hear my voice. That is energy.
Right.
That's how it's transported to you. So we use it every day of our life.
Yep.
Solar power energy for our roofs to, you know, run.
You can't see electricity.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you can't see. Absolutely. We all feel things. So we feel when somebody is standing behind us. Well, some people don't, but which that was a shock to me. But we also can feel things when we walk into you know, the spirit of place, life force energy of place. We can feel what's going on. You can feel when somebody's had an argument. We can feel when, you know, we go, oh, we talk in it all the time. Oh, this place has really great energy.
Right.
Oh, no, but I don't believe in energy work. Yeah.
Right.
So basically all Reiki is putting our body or our organs or our emotions or whatever it is that we're doing back into its natural vibration. Okay. So when something's got trauma, it vibrates at a lower vibration. Sometimes something, you know, we can have too much energy. So it's a matter of, you know, just balancing that energy. And it puts us into a really deep, relaxed state really quickly, actually, which is quite amazing in itself. So it complements other therapies really, really well, because you don't have to do all the work to get them in there. They just go into that relaxed state. So therefore, it puts that the body of the person, because they're relaxed, because they're in either alpha or theta, guess what? They're susceptible to change. They're susceptible to the frequency changing. Yeah. And as we connect to life force energy, we are the channel. We are not the healer. You know, we are not, oh, I am a great healer. I'm a great channel because I do the work. Yeah. I've had nothing to do with the person's healing. It's like the life force energy, and the person being open to allowing that to happen and then taking the changes. So it's beautiful. It's easy. It's beautiful. I've sat with my dying grandmother who was 97. I gave her Reiki while she passed. It was a peaceful passing. So it's you can use it. You're not going to, don't try and, I could tell my funny story about the healing of the bird. I think I've told you that story, Susan. But I won't go into that today. But it's, Reiki will go to where it's going to go. The main part that I like to teach practitioners is to get out of their own way, and I give you the skills on how to do that, and allow the healing to happen. We are not in control of it. As soon as we try and control it, we tense up, we try and let's make this happen. It doesn't happen. So we just have to relax, focus, how I teach you, and it works. You understand.
Oh, yeah. I can definitely attest to that because, and for me, it's such a gift to be able to hold a space like that and allow that energy to come through and not have to really worry or think about where it's going or what it's doing. I just really need to tune into my intuition as to where to go and how to be with the person.
Absolutely.
And really facilitating that kind of relaxation is such a beautiful thing. And, for people who say, oh, I'm wired too tight, or I can't meditate, or I can't really relax, or, people who are high energy, it's such a wonderful modality for them.
I tell some people sometimes you don't even have to believe in it. You
Right.
just have to lie there, close your eyes, and trust me, you'll be fine. And they come out going, oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also, it's honoring of each individual's way and what they need. Some people have had, I'm only doing this for, a month, but some people have had really profound vision or experiences. Some people, it's as simple as, oh my God, I haven't felt that relaxed in such a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so whatever the person is feeling is perfect for them.
Yeah.
And it's the same for the practitioner.
Yeah.
Whatever the practitioner feels, once they understand the energy and how they feel the energy and how they, what is needed and where to go, whatever they feel is perfect for them as well. So you don't have to have great visions. You don't have to be able to read, auras or anything like that. You just need to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And let the Reiki do its stuff.
Well, and also, what I find, Tracey, too, is that, I am not you.
No.
Right. So I can have an idea of something if you say to me, for instance, that you have a visual of a beach somewhere. I can come up with all kinds of things. What does the beach symbolize? But it's your symbolism.
That's exactly right.
So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's exactly
what is that trying to show you?
Yes.
Honestly, I appreciate that so much because, and the people who I've had the opportunity to receive healing from, who are on that level of recognizing that, each one of us is our own healer.
Absolutely. All healing is self-healing.
Yeah.
And it's just helping us to, it's like, sometimes I liken it to like taking a Panadol or, when you've got a headache, the way that it makes us relax. So therefore it heals what's going on. I remember when my daughter was in hospital with kidney stones, and she didn't want to take the Panadol, and they kept saying to her, you need to take the Panadol so your body relaxes, so it heals. So when we look at Reiki, it's a natural way of allowing your body to go into that state ready for healing. Yeah, because when we're tense, when we're all tensed up and we're all wired up, we're not going to heal. We're just going to cause more and more more and more negative blockages to actually stop that beautiful energy flow to happen. Okay, so once we actually relax, we clear and we allow the Reiki to the life force energy to come flowing back into the body and back into all the cells and all the areas, then the flow is right and we start to have more energy. So otherwise it's like all these like a blocked hose that's not running water, you know. So when we clear out the blockage, the hose runs more freely. So that's just like our system. I suppose you could put it down to like blocked arteries, I guess.
Sure.
But the beauty of this, our energetic system, we can actually unblock those blockages much easier than we can unblock blocked arteries. So it's beautiful. It's lovely. Yes. So
one of the things that comes to mind, Tracey, for me as with you, and I think that there is something, there's something unique about everyone, but there's something unique in, now, honestly, I haven't, been attuned to Reiki by anyone else, but my sense somehow is that there's a little something magical about the way that you do what you do that really enables people to even unlock more of their own magic, like beyond the Reiki or bigger than the Reiki.
I guess that's my years and years of study as a witch, I guess you would call me. So Celtic craft, but working with the elements and the elementals and all of the rest of it, the whole system fits into one. Does that make sense? So Reiki still led me to, it gave me a greater understanding of that magic. But that is my gift of unlocking people's magic. And it's funny because even as a celebrant, when I did my celebrancy training, it's funny that you say that because my teacher we had to do a demo of a wedding, and I did the demo of the wedding, and we had to do a demo of a funeral service. And at the end, when we got our certificates and stuff, she said, do you know your gift? I said, what? She said, do you know your gift? And I said, no, what do you mean? She said, you have the ability to make everybody feel comfortable and that they are the most important person in the space. She said, I hold space really, really well. And so my other ability is and I know this from when I was just serving, I was a manager in a sandwich bar for a few years, and the way I managed was the same. So I take the time to understand the person's individual way of learning. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I love doing one-on-one or just small groups. And I find that when I do small groups, the energy of the group is very similar, because it's all energy, and that's what I'm calling in, because then I can explain it. They'll get the same needs of what they needed. As it's always different. It goes off in different tangents, just like I am now. I'm going off in a different tangent, but that's all right. So so I've studied magic. I teach magic. I teach how, I'm a born, everything is energy, and it's life force energy. Like we're a soul having an earthly experience, and we hear that time and time again. But it is that we have to understand that, the soul's having this experience in life, and we have to move with the energy that is around us. So even down to, the craft, like with the seasonal aspects. So moving with the seasons that we live in, it's quite going against the current almost if you're not going along with the seasons of where you're from. And I find there's a lot with the internet. The internet's great, like, because look at us now.
Right.
But people are getting confused even with the energy that they're working with. So northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, like we're in different seasons, the opposite, polar opposites.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's the same when you're working with the energy of where you live. So for instance, we're coming up to the spring equinox. Yeah.
Yep,
You're coming up to the autumn equinox.
that's correct.
So when we're actually working with our own body's energy, it's connected to the seasonal aspects of where we are. So if we start to go against it, we're wondering why we're not in flow.
Yeah.
So it's energetic flow when we talk about flow. And so people are trying to get into flow. They're trying to get into flow. Guess what? They can't get into flow because they're going against it.
Yeah.
So it's really understanding, and I can think that comes through with my Reiki. When I'm your teacher, you're getting all of me. Like you're getting that energetic. It's an energetic exchange. So you're getting all my codes, I guess, when I'm teaching you as well. So even though I might not even speak those codes, a lot of my knowledge, it comes through. So therefore, you're automatically just awakening to that.
Yeah,
If that makes
yes, I 100%, and I totally felt that. And Lisa and I both, like, so there was someone else that took the training with me, my friend Lisa and I teamed up, and we worked with Tracey over, what was it?
8 weeks, and
8
we ended up
weeks, right?
doing 9, didn't we?
That's right. So, we broke
For
it
that
down because of the time difference, to try to do it like we do here, and I'm sure you do there also, like a weekend or, kind of a more intensive training. It was such a gift to do it that way because we had lots of time to unpack and to actually play with the energy. So like built upon itself.
Yeah, so it's
such
like that layers that it should. But the old way of teaching it, so it was done like an apprenticeship rather than a
Yeah.
here it all is, pack, and then you have to unpack it later.
And then
So
you
you
got to
had
figure
time
it
to
out.
embody it.
Right.
Had time to. I love doing it that way. And
And-
even face to face is nice that way. If anybody wanted to do face to face with me, so
But like we both of us were like the same, like just because I know there's so much that there's no reason why we can't convey energy through this medium, but it's still relatively new to us.
Yes.
So
And also,
sometimes
I think
there's that little moment of doubt, like, is this really going to work? Right. But both of us were like blown away because we felt your codes. Like we felt like the attunement. Every time we did an attunement, it was like, whoa, really powerful.
I think the combination of sending distant Reiki while I'm doing the attunement, plus the toning, the chanting of the symbols for the attunements, which gives you that vibration with sound as well. It really, really pulls it all together. So the touch is not important. It's just not. It's the same as when I do readings. I'd much rather read on the phone without even seeing the person because you haven't got that visual perception of, that's not right. Do you know what I mean? They look two together or whatever. So it's the same. So just getting out of your own way and just trusting in what intuition comes up and allowing the Reiki to guide you. And it's the same with life. So Reiki has taken me in so many different directions, and I don't have to be physically doing Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still using it, and it still guides me on my path. It still lights the path for me on where I need to go. Even sometimes I'll think to myself, my goodness, why am I doing this? Like, why am I packing up shop and moving on a whim like that? And it's because I trust that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And then later, I'll go, yep, it was the right decision. I know now why. It's when we don't listen to that first seed of thought or that first spark and we second guess it and we try and control it, that we get ourselves into trouble. And that's what Reiki, when you really, really allow the energy to take you to where you need to go and trust in it, what energy is, the feelings that come up. It's like when you meet somebody for the first time and you feel like that have known them forever. It's because energetically you're going to, because energetically you're already connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you meet somebody for the first time and you think, I can't stand you and I never want to see you again. And when you cut that off, you listen to that. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's trust. It's trust in it. And Reiki teaches you that. So
Beautiful.
whether or not you want to teach it, whether or not you want to be a practitioner, or whether or not you want to just allow it to light your path, basically. It's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful. Tracey, if people are interested in working with you, having a session, learning with you, what's the best way for people to reach you? This will be in the show notes, of course, but if you just want to throw that out right now.
Okay. So you can jump on my HypnoWitch page, I know, and that's spelled HYPKNOW. So it's all my services combined. So Reiki, witchy magic, hypnotherapy, everything that I do. So the no is as in no, so as in knowledge in the middle. So HypnoWitch. I will be having at the moment, you can jump on, I won't even say that at the moment in case it doesn't happen, but I'm working on a new website at the moment. So I've got, for my celebrancy stuff, it's Cycles of Life Celebrant. So if you just want to do straight coaching, so cyclesoflifecelebrant.com.au is my celebrant services, coaching and counselling services, because I'm also, which is the more straight coaching, straight counselling type stuff. And my HypnoWitch page at the moment is Tracey Cecil, Tracey Ann Cecil, the HypnoWitch, which I'm changing it to, but that'll be able to find that, and I'll give you more links to another website by the time this goes to air.
That's
it should
wonderful.
Be sorted.
And you're primarily on Facebook, yeah?
And I'm on Facebook, yes, and Instagram. So yeah, so you can find me there. If you want to send me a friend request, just Tracey Cecil, and yes, but send me a message when you send me the friend request, because you know what it's like getting some friend requests you wish you never actually accepted them. So if you're going to send me a friend request, just send me a little message saying, hey, I'd like to connect with you. I've seen you on Trans Talks. That's fine. It's perfect. Beautiful. So just Tracey Cecil on my normal Facebook page if you want to do that.
Awesome.
And Susan knows what it's like to try and connect with me.
It took a while, but you know what? I trust everything happens in the right time.
I even got up and walked away at some point on the screen, didn't I? When we were on another call.
Oh gosh!
You sent me the message, and as you sent it to me, I got up and left.
Yeah, it was funny because I had messaged you, and for some reason it fell through the cracks, and then several months later we were in a class together.
Yeah.
And I messaged you on the whatever that class was, but yeah,
yes,
but we did get together. I'm so glad we did. And thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to me and talk to our listeners about Reiki and all of its magic.
My pleasure. It's been a pleasure, and I really, really enjoyed it. So thank you for trusting me as your Reiki teacher, master.
Yeah.
Extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire. All right, guys, listen, enjoy the day, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Take care.